Apologies, didn't get through them all in the one video, but we'll try and be quick on these two as well, the last two questions, last two big 8 markers. So this one, pause the video, read the question, see what you can spot. So if you have a quick look at it now, it's an income statement or a profit and loss account, and between 2 different years, what's the things that stand out? Gross profit's the same, revenue's pretty similar, cost of sales is similar, they both go up £1,000, but they're both pretty similar. Wages has come down, so that's quite big there. Other expenses have gone up, but actually what's happened to a profit overall? Profit overall between year 1 and year 2 has gone up. This is the thing that they wanted you to spot. Which is the most important type of profit? This one, because this is what you're left with. Gross profit is just an indication of how good or how efficient you are at making your products, whereas this is an indication of what money your business gets to keep at the end of the year. So the big thing that they're looking for was this here. This is the most substantial change. So discuss whether Sarah should be pleased with these changes. So what changes are we talking about first of all? So the changes that you might want to talk about first of all is that the big change in Sarah's profit and loss or income statement is that the net profit has gone from 2,000 to 2,600. This means that she's got £600 extra profit at the end of year 2 rather than year 1. Brilliant. You're going to pick up a mark, possibly 2 for that. You then might want to comment on, well, what's created that. This is mostly as a result of the fact that Sarah's managed to reduce wages. She's managed to reduce that cost, which is pretty good. However, her other expenses have gone up. This should be something that Sarah should try and work on, because had she been able to keep expenses at the same level, then she would have increased her profit overall by £900. Okay? So reasonably straightforward at this point. Again, we might look up here, well, what could have happened at this end? Could we have done anything better here? So revenue's gone up. Sarah should definitely be pleased that revenue's gone up. Another sentence. However, the cost of sales also went up. Had Sarah been able to keep this cost of sales a little bit lower or at the same level, then gross profit would have gone up, and this would have led to an overall increase in net profit as well. Alright, can't ask you for much more than that. On balance, if you were looking for those big marks, on balance, Sarah should be really, really pleased because this is net profit has gone up. This means that she can invest more money in the business. All right, you can't say much more than that for this one. So have a look at the figures. Think about how you'd word something like this. Let's look at the next one. So our last big 8 marker question. And we're back to a statement of financial position or a balance sheet. So pause, read, and see what stands out. So it's saying that there is a situation with Quentin's financial position. It's asking you to say, well, what could you do with Quentin's financial position? So the first thing that you're looking for, straight to the net current liabilities. How are they? How is that working capital? Right, it's minus 1,700, so that's no good straight away. So the problem that Quentin has got is that his balance sheet for this year shows that there is a working capital of minus 1,700. What does Quentin need to do about this? So let's first look at these assets. One of the things that Quentin could do is try and increase the debtors to the business, i.e. selling more products. So this is something that he could do straight away, really, is to try and increase that figure there. He could also maybe increase the cash in the business. How could he increase the cash in the business? Think about selling a couple of those fixed assets maybe. Is there any fixed assets that the business doesn't need? Because that would generate more cash, which would increase this current assets. Alright. Looking here, what does he need to do? He needs to reduce these trade payables, so the amount of money that he's paying to his creditors, he needs to try and reduce that amount. Now obviously you've got to buy stuff from your creditors, and you need that stock, but can he change his suppliers to try and reduce that? The other thing that he could do is try and reduce this overdraft. Maybe think about ways that they could get this overdraft down, and this would then give us this higher net current liabilities, or our working capital, it would get this back to a positive amount. On balance, what's the most likely thing that he could do, or the best thing he could do? I'd be looking at trade receivables. Can he increase sales in some way? He's not that far off that figure, so if he can double sales, big ask, but if he can try and double sales, or possibly even if he can use some of sell off those fixed assets to increase cash, maybe that's something that he could do to try and improve that business overall. But on balance, I'd probably be looking at trying to increase the debtors and reduce the creditors. That might be something that you could try and consider. Okay, so that's been a whistle-stop tour on these 8 markers, but what I hope that you've been able to pick out from all of these 8 markers is all you need to do, spot 1 or 2, just write a sentence. Anything that jumps out at you, write a sentence about it. They're expecting people. You haven't got a huge amount of time. They're expecting lists. They're expecting you to say, oh, this is what I've seen, this is what I've seen. And then for the people who are looking for a few more marks, explaining why you can see that, why it looks like that. And then for those top marks, is explain, well, which is the most important factor to answer the question. Okay, so best of luck.